Our top story, the South Australian government has forced Whyalla Steelworks into administration over mounting unpaid bills and royalties. Our political correspondent Cameron Reddin is in Canberra for us. And Cam, the federal government, by the sounds of it, is now also getting involved.
Yeah, state and federal governments looking for a circuit breaker on this issue. Ashley, there were millions of dollars in unpaid bills from the Whyalla Steelworks, millions more in unpaid royalties. Today, the South Australian Premier rushing legislation through Parliament in order to plunge the Whyalla Steelworks into administration. The parent company of this GFG has around 3,000 workers in South Australia. So there is some attempt now to find a way to keep the Whyalla Steelworks operational. Remember, this is before any trade tariffs on steel have been imposed by the Trump administration. There were already questions about the viability of Whyalla if those tariffs were imposed. They haven't come into effect yet. There's talks ongoing between Australia and the US to carve out an exemption for Australia. But before those have even come in, there are now these issues with the Whyalla Steelworks entering administration. We revealed in the last hour that the Prime Minister sees this as such a priority. He will travel to visit the Whyalla Steelworks site tomorrow alongside the South Australian Premier. This is Peter Malinauskas announcing his move a short time ago.
The South Australian government has decided to put the operator of the steelworks into administration, more specifically One Steel Manufacturing Pty Ltd. This means that GFG are no longer running the Whyalla Steelworks.
I've just received this statement from the Industry Minister and a spokesperson for him, Ed Husic. It gives you some sense of the significance that the Prime Minister and the government put on this decision today. Ed Husic, a spokesperson for him, says what's going on in Whyalla and around it can't continue. Workers kept in the dark, creditors, including the South Australian government, unpaid, a proud industrial city left wondering about its future. They'll have more to say on that, I'm told, as well, Ashley. For the Coalition's part, my understanding is that they will be broadly supportive of immediate certainty around the future of Whyalla for workers and also for those stakeholders. But the Coalition broadly critical of a range of government policies, including the cost of electricity and energy, for example, which makes up such a large share of the steelworks operation. So the Prime Minister to visit tomorrow, this quickly becoming a priority matter for the government.